Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my story as anonymous? My name is Temba. I have come across your profile, but through my sister. She is the one who saw some videos, and I can't find those videos anymore on your page. And she told me to speak with you on her behalf. So I am South African, and this is my story. I'm going to try to be honest, so those that can assist us can help us. Are you from Mozambique? If so, are you willing to go with us to Mozambique so that we can be able to get help and we can pay you nice money? We do own a small restaurant where we are making money, but the investment amount that we got, it was after Francis, who is now calling us to take his body to Malawi, in which we can't do that. We cannot leave South Africa to go to Malawi to do such a thing. If you know anyone who deal with spirits so that he can rest in peace, and I'm going to tell you in all honesty what happened after a man whom I called my friend Francis passed away. This is how I met Francis. I used to work on a farm, and Francis was working with me as well. He was from Malawi. He was a good man. He used to drive tractors, and we used to drive these tractors together every day. Later on, Francis got lucky and he got a truck job. He drove big trucks. He made about 22K each and every month, and it was a lot of money. Life was so good for him. He also wanted me to become a truck driver, but I did not want to leave the farm because working far away from home, crossing the border, this was not what I wanted. He helped me, he helped my family, and he helped everyone whom he knew. And I had this other sister of mine. We ended up dating. My sister, whom I'll call Ayam, she was someone that was in a very abusive relationship with the man that had given her a child. So I knew that as for Francis, he was a good, responsible man, and he had been looking for an ID, by the way. So I spoke with my sister and I said, if you just stop being this party animal and then you just try to make things work with Francis. This was an idea that my sister did not want to hear, for she did not want to date Francis when he was still working on the farm. But the moment that he started driving trucks, he kept on returning back to him, and then they fell in love, and then they became a couple. They became a family, and they had one son that they had together. Francis helped her to build a house. It was a nice house in town. They were happy. Francis said to me many times, even the day when they got married, before we could even get into the magistrate office because they had a court wedding, he said to me and to my sister, please, this is what we are going to do. If I die, take me to Malawi. Please do not bury me here in South Africa. And he meant that the moment that he gets too sick, we were supposed to take him to Malawi so that he can be able to be buried amongst his own people if he would have died. He used to say this again and again. Even my sister told me that this is the conversation that they used to have most of the times, him saying that he did not want to be buried in South Africa. The problem was that there was a child now that was involved. My sister did not want Francis to go to Malawi anymore because then he had a family. He had told my sister something that he had never told me. In Malawi, he had 5 kids that he had with 2 women. So my sister, in her mind and speaking with her friends, she later told me that she had a conversation with her friends and she had been told that if you are going to let this man go to his country, then he's going to bring his many wives here and you're going to fight for each and every little cent. So make sure that he never goes to Malawi. And this is what stopped him from doing cross-border. It was my sister we said that I don't want you to do cross-border anymore. You're going to be working only local. He then told his boss that he could not do cross-border, for my sister was afraid that maybe one day he will go back to his country when he would have gotten a load to go to Malawi. Francis later on died as if he knew that he was about to die. He was someone that had been suffering from high blood pressure, and I used to caution him quite a lot when we were still working at that farm. He was someone that took a lot of risk. You know, these white people, they can tell you to do things that can damage your health. So there was a time when Francis was being told to mix some of the chemicals, and he had to go and he had to spray some of the cabbages that we were growing at that farm. So these chemicals, they were very dangerous. I knew about them. There was this other one man who was an old man who told me how dangerous those chemicals were. He got blind because from a very young age, he had started working for the father of the man that we were working for. And after apartheid, he kept on working for the same white man, but he used to mix these chemicals without wearing any gloves, nothing to protect his eyes. So he became blind, but he used to tell me each and every time when we were holding and using chemicals, and he will say that the white man will tell you to do this, something that you will never touch, know that it is dangerous. Now I am about to go blind because of the way that I used to handle these chemicals without any protection at all. So as for Francis, he was someone that wanted to be loved by the boss so that he could get just favors from the boss, not a lot of money. So if he was told that he had to go to the shed to mix the chemicals, and after that he had to go to the field where the cabbages were, what he was supposed to do was that he had to mix them, even to mix with his own hands without using a stick, especially if the boss was there. He would take the chemicals, mix them with his own hands. And I used to caution him and say, Francis, this thing, what you are doing, you are damaging your skin. You're going to get skin cancer. I did not know that he was not going to get skin cancer, but he would develop other illnesses like sugar, diabetes, as well as high blood pressure. So by the time that he started driving the trucks, he had a problem with high blood pressure. That one I knew very well that he could not do a lot of heavy lifting because of the high blood pressure, but he was someone that forced his body to do what he could not do anymore. So he had to rest a lot. One day at work, that was when Francis fell down. There was an accident that nearly happened. They were at their depot, which was also like a warehouse. So he was busy operating the forklift. He was a man that always wanted to impress the white men. So whilst others were parking their trucks, what Francis will do is that he would load their trucks. He would get off from his truck. If he sees that maybe the forklift operator has gone for lunch or gone to the toilet, he would get into the forklift since he knew how to use it. Then he would load whatever that was supposed to be loaded. He would load it into the truck. Then after that, he would go and rest. So he never rested really. After being loaded, instead of resting, you get on the road, drive without even stopping. If he is going to Cape Town, he will drive until he has reached Cape Town without resting. Then he will sleep. Once he is offloaded, he would be on his way, returning back to Joburg, whether he has gotten a load or maybe he will not have gotten a load. So the boss, especially the white people that he would be working for, they always loved him for that because he was someone that never stopped working at all the times he was working. So on that day, an accident nearly happened just after he had parked the forklift. That was when he fell from the forklift. If it had happened that he was driving the forklift at that time, maybe his head would have been crushed by the forklift. When he fell down, they rushed to where he was and they lifted him up, and he said that he was feeling dizzy. The boss then rushed him to the hospital. You know, they won't go with you to a public hospital. They took him to a private hospital and he was given a bed rest. Then he was returned back to the place where they were staying when they were at work. So later on, an ambulance was called when they saw that his situation was not improved. That was when they took him to a government hospital because this was after working hours. We rushed to see him. On that day, he was able to talk. And when we got there, like he was not breathing properly. Then the next day, that was when we heard that he had passed away. This was like a brother to me. I even cried. We were sad. I was sad for my sister because finally she had found a man that wanted to settle down with her. Even my sister, as a family, we were happy. She was no longer that woman that was always moving around with different men. She was actually building her own family. He was a good man. In truth, I am telling you, his family in Malawi, we did not know anything about them. We only got one phone number. We spoke with this other woman who was saying that he was going to the village from where this man came from, and it was a woman. But what she said was that in the meantime, try to bring him home so that he can be buried here in Malawi before you make any decisions. So after a couple of days, that was when she called us and she told us that she was in the village where Francis came from. So when they said that bring him home, he must be buried in Malawi, we sit down as a family, we had our meeting, and then as a family, we decided that it was too far. The money that was in the bank, we did not want my sister to use that money because she was a woman that had been left behind with a child. It is too much money. We cannot do it. We did not want. So my sister wanted his money, to tell you the truth. We did not tell the rest of the family about the pension money. We wanted the money. We did not want to use our money to send him home. When the pension came out, it was a lot, enough to send him home, enough to even give his family, to share with his family, but we did not do it. My sister said, but he is dead and he left behind his son. I need to create a better future for his son. So we used the money. I fixed my own house, but back in the village, I don't stay in the city. And then we started a small business, me and my sister, both of us as directors. Then we joined a franchise. We thought that life was going to be good. We started working at the restaurant. After the funeral, after we had forgotten, that was when there were a lot of things that we could not understand that was happening. My sister would call me and she would say that she would have gone to bed, locked all of the doors, but when she would wake up, she would find out that the doors were open, the lights would have been turned on, and she used to hear people that would be talking in the language that Francis was using when he was still alive. And then one day, Aya had a dream and she said to me, brother, I saw Francis. He was in his room and he was standing by the window and he was looking so sad. I also had a dream. In my dream, everything was like real. Francis said to me, when he came into my dream, this is what he said to me. Temba, why did you bury me here? Take me home. Take me to Malawi so that I can live and be buried amongst my own people. I woke up, I was scared. I was with this other woman. She was even scared with the way that I woke up. Bad things started to happen. Like at all the times, we will always experience a lot of negative stuff. After you would have gotten your money, your car will always die. And as for the house that my sister owns, if you look at that house, you will think that this house, it was built a very long time ago. The house, it has a modern design, but it has cracks everywhere. She is always maintaining and fixing that house. I even laughed at him because they have these fitted wardrobes, but somehow, those doors, they can't close. They will always get loose. You can hear strange sounds at night. And as for sometimes you can just get sick and we waste a lot of money. There was one night that I will never forget, even though I was half drunk, but I remember hearing 3 knocks on the door. It was slow and a hard knock, but there was no one that was there. I knew that there was no one, but I did not want to go out. And one day Aya also told me that she saw the late husband. He was sitting on the bed, and he said that he is cold and he is hungry. He must be taken back to his country. And he also came to my dreams. This was after lockdown. He said to me, "You used my money, you left my body here, you have forgotten about my wish. Take me to my people, take me to Malawi, come with me, come." And then I started following him. And then I saw that I was in Malawi, but it was happening in my dream. We were once assisted by a Malawian traditional healer who wanted so much money that we said, "Let us just stop it. We will deal with this," because he said that a man from Malawi must not be buried in another land. If he is buried in another land, his spirit will not find rest. He will walk, he will cry, and he will haunt you. And he asked us if we used his money, and then that was when he knew that we own a franchise of a restaurant. I won't share the name of that restaurant, but it is quite a popular one. So he was charging us according to our wealth, and we said that we can't go there. So, brother, it is not possible for his body to be taken from the grave where he is buried and he can be taken to Malawi. I don't think that it is possible. If it is possible, it is going to be costing us a lot of money, as he is demanding that we should share the wealth with his relatives. We can't do that. We have been working very hard at that restaurant, and I also want my family to benefit when I am gone. Therefore, I am asking, do you know anyone from Mozambique who can help us so that Francis' spirit will just rest amongst the dead, because he is dead anyway? If you know anyone that can assist us, we can pay you money. There are people who will say, "But with the money that you have, why can't you just use that money to go with his body? There is a lot of stuff that is needed." According to what one Sangoma told us, we will end up with nothing, because the business that we used to start this money with, it does not belong to us. It is his pension money. Therefore, when we are amongst his relatives, even if he says, "These people, they started their business using my money, therefore I do not want them to benefit anything from it," then it means that we are going to lose everything. And here we are talking about a man that is a big family. If it was only one wife, it would be better. But we are talking about a man that has several wives. If you know anyone, please assist my brother. We are being haunted left, right, and center by the spirit of this man. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our DM brother. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with him, and if there is anyone who is from Mozambique who can assist us with the phone numbers, you can also write them in the comment section, so that when he is watching this program, then he can be able to contact those that he says they must help him. He is willing to travel to Mozambique so that this the spirit of that man, it can be laid to rest. So let us try to speak with him in the comment section. Let us meet again in the following episode.